Hey, what else? What up? I fucked it up already. What up, y'all? What's happening? It's your boy TIBBY, and I'm in the building. I'm very happy to be here today. I've got a guest with me. He goes by the name of Sanford McMurray. He's an author, a life coach, and an all-around great person. Thank you for coming on the podcast today, my friend. Thank you for joining Tibby Talks. How we doing?
Outstanding, man. Outstanding. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Fantastic, man. Like, the cool thing that I've always found about myself is that through all walks of life, I always keep the same relationship with everyone. I feel like we have that same sort of relationship.
Yeah, we've known each other a while.
I've known you for about, I'm going to say about 12 years, man.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Like, I met you at Foot Locker. and we've stayed in contact just being locals, you know what I mean, in the same community, man. So I appreciate you really coming on the show and, like, spreading your wisdom, you know? Because I see you on Instagram. Posting all the videos and, you know, putting your content out there and putting your voice out there and letting the people know, you know what I mean? Like, you're an author, you write books. Yeah. You gave me this book.
Yep. This
book, I want to read you what you wrote on the inside to me. To Travis, you are powerful beyond measure, and that power has lifted me up, perhaps without you knowing. Thanks for your energy, your words, and your presence. I call you friend. Signed, Sanford McMurray. Like, that's some G shit, man. Like, I'm telling you, not too many people out there do that for someone. You know what I mean? So I really appreciated that book, you know what I mean? And it's definitely got some great messages in it. The thing I like the most is how you can go back and it's nearly like you do it, not like a test, but it's sort of like, what did you learn in this chapter about yourself, though? And it's all very in-depth questions, which I thought was cool. What was the process for you, like, doing that?
Well, that book was actually probably about the third or fourth book I wrote.
Yeah.
But I never published the first two or three because they just didn't resonate. They didn't sit with me.
Yeah.
But this book, when I started writing this book, I was at a cafe over at the West End called Three Monkeys.
Three Monkeys.
Yeah, Three Monkeys, yeah. And I started writing on just a paper towel. Yeah. I don't know if you've deal with their paper towels, but they're nice and thick. You know, you can like wash yourself with a whole paper towel. But I started writing. And then I just kept writing. Yeah. And then I just kept writing. And I kept asking for more napkins. I didn't want to write on paper because I started the process on the napkins.
Yeah,
and I didn't want that, you know, it's kind of like an athlete, you know, doing the same ritual over to keep that luck, you know. And so I kept writing. And the more napkins I got, I just kept writing and writing. And so it was probably about a day I got the base of the book done because I was there for I got there about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I left about 9 o'clock at night.
Wow, you were there for 12 hours just going.
I was just on the roll. It was time.
I like that you just did that. That's actually really, you know, that's like a unique story because, like, you see that sort of stuff in movies and people write that stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I just got inspired and then I did this on here. But you actually did that. You were in this. Is it a cafe or is it a restaurant?
Yeah, there's a cafe there, there. That was before the big floods. They've done, revamped it and stuff ever since. But they had that.
West End is a different place now.
It is a different.
It's a very different place. Not in a bad way, though. Not in a bad way.
Still, I mean, they're building up all the new buildings and stuff over there, and they're trying to really kind of make it the it place.
Exactly, the cool place. Yeah. It's definitely taking the shine from the Fortitude Valley.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But that's dope, man. You was there just not leaving until you had that written, like the blueprint on those napkins. How many did you have? Like a stack?
Yeah. I had like 54 napkins.
Damn. Yeah. That's awesome.
I kept the napkins.
That's so cool. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's so cool. That's like how producers and directors, how they come up with movie ideas. They'll just be in a place and then just get inspired and then boom, they have to put it down. You know what I mean?
Exactly it.
Like, I wish I could recreate those sort of moments with music. Like, I can write it, but I don't feel it the same sometimes. You have to, like, really re-enter that space in your mind. It's such a mind over matter kind of thing when it comes to, like, creative art, like music, you know? Like, you really got to, if you have to make this type of song, you have to take yourself to that place and nearly figure out how that you yourself can take yourself into that portal. Like, what's the trigger to take me here on this journey? So, yeah, I really envy that process. I think that's really cool. So, besides the books, because we can get more into all the other books, because you got plenty of other books too that we can talk about. But I want to take us back to the start. Where did you grow up? I don't know where you grew up.
Great question. Look, originally born in St. Louis, Missouri,
You were
USA.
born in St. Louis.
St. Louis, home of
Yeah.
Nelly. That's where Nelly's from.
Yeah.
So Nelly's from there.
Yeah.
Another rapper named Chingy.
I'm as you know, I know a lot about hip hop. Hip hop is my cup of tea, so I'm very, very familiar with those Louisville artists, man. The whole movement. Yeah. That's crazy, man. See, from the Lou.
That's exactly it.
Wow.
Now, I just got to say this: we used to have a football team. We don't anymore.
Yeah. R.I.P. R.I.P. Man.
So it's all good. It's all good.
You never know though; they could come back.
Yeah, I mean, we had I'm going to take you guys way back. We used to have the St. Louis Bombers. That was in the 1930s and 40s.
Yeah.
Then we had the Cardinals. Cardinals were there for a long time.
Yeah.
And then the Rams came.
Yeah.
They won a championship, and then they left.
Man, just quit on top. Hey, I don't really follow football too much, man. Like, I've always been like, I was never really into sports.
Yeah.
Like, I tried when I was a kid, but then I was really into basketball. Okay. Basketball was the one thing that got me, you know? Like, you could, like, once I started playing it, I wanted to know everything about it. And because basketball was so directly related to hip hop, it was just like, oh, how was I missing out on this my whole life? You know, like it was like 13 when I probably started playing basketball, and like it hasn't changed since.
And you know who really brought the world of hip hop to basketball?
Who?
Allen Iverson.
Oh, you ain't even got to. Yeah, preach.
You know,
preach.
You know,
preach, man. For real.
Just you know,
King.
He bought hip hop. He bought cornrows. He bought his style, the fashion.
Yeah.
Of hip hop.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, he got pushed back, but he just had to be him.
He's misunderstood, man. He's misunderstood. You know what I mean? He didn't have people around him to tell him what to do. You know what I mean? And how to look and how to act. He only knew how to be himself and how to protect himself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that was kind of the rawness that people wanted in sport. You know, like it wouldn't have mattered what culture or what he was doing, but he was doing him to the fullest, you know? And yeah, you're definitely right. He definitely brought hip-hop to the NBA. But, you know, Shaq, man, Shaq be rapping too. Shaq was hard too, man. Shaq had some songs, man.
He had good role models.
He did. He did.
You know, Iverson came before him. You know, all these other players came before him. You know, look, if we really want to get really down and dirty, we can talk about Dr. J.
Yeah.
Okay? Bring it straight from Rutgers. Yeah. Straight to the court. He had all the styles. He had all the moves. He had the big afro. Yeah. You know, so Iverson had that to look back on. Shaq, of course, had that. You know, MJ had that. You know, so they had a lot of role models, but Shaq decided to, because he went to university. I'm not sure. He did, yeah. And he had some good coaches there, but he chose to really listen to people. Yeah. He chose to really listen. And that's why he's such a good businessman today. He is, yeah. You know? Yeah. So, yeah, it's Shaq's funny too. Yeah, Shaq. I love his humor, man. He cracks me up, man. People talk about the Shaq. The big Galactus. Shaq really soft on the inside. Man, his wife is short as hell, man. Or maybe she just looks short as hell next to him because he's like 7'3" or something like that. Goodness me. So you grew up in St. Louis, and what was it like growing up in St. Louis for you? St. Louis, and my my mom died when I was 8, so we moved across the river to Alton, Illinois. So it was just two bridges across the river. Yeah. And we were, I don't know, we were poor. We moved a lot. You know, we lived in rat-infested, roach-infested places. Wow. And so there's a lot of childhood. The stuff that I really study nowadays and really look back on is there's a process called adverse childhood experiences. Okay, I'll talk more about that later, but it's ACEs for short. And it's all those different experiences you go through as a child that sit in your body long into adulthood. And once I started understanding how that set in my body and understanding how it set in my clients and my students, even when I was teaching, my cheerleading program, I had cheerleading school. I started understanding why my students struggle with being who they are trying something or risking. Wow. Because of the adverse experience they had when they were younger. So, we had all these things that we had as kids. I had, grew up wearing secondhand clothes, secondhand shoes. My mom and dad tried to really work all the time. Mom passed away when I was 8, so me and my 2 sisters. My grandmother tried to take care of us, but she had to work. These folks were working. When I say working, I'm talking about 14, 15 hours, a day. All day. You would never see them. That's exactly it. And so we moved across the river to be with my dad because he remarried.
Oh, okay.
But again, we were still in the system just hustling, making what they call making ends meet.
Yeah, making ends meet.
You got to make the ends meet.
Yeah.
And so my younger sister didn't last very long there. She didn't get along with my stepmother, so she moved back with my grandmother.
Yep.
My older sister decided once she turned 16, she dropped out of school. She went to what they called Job Corps. Where you can get your GED.
Okay, yep.
And then you can go on and do whatever she wanted because she wanted to go into the military.
That's like basically GED, sort of like on TAFE sort of thing, isn't it?
Exactly it. Yeah. Exactly it. So she got that and she went on. And I stayed in the house a bit longer. My mom and dad had two other children. So my brothers, Andre and Marcus. My sister's names are Stacy, Terry. We also had a stepsister named Shelly. And then Marcus and Andre, my brothers.
Cool.
So, we became the Brady Bunch.
Wow. So around so you say you're in Illinois until you're like a teenager?
Yeah, from St. Louis, Illinois. And we just ping pong back and forth, go see my grandmother in the summertime. Yeah. Played softball. I was a softball player then.
You're softball, hectic. That's how it all started? That the first sort of sport you got into?
Exactly.
That's cool, but man, that would have been the thing.
It
would have been the thing, yeah. Because it's not a thing over here in Australia. Dodgeball isn't even a thing over here. But like, it could be, but I don't know about it. But that's really cool, man. Like, yeah. So as a young adult and your journey to where you are now, what was like that turning point for you that you're like, I need to change or something like that?
I'd probably say, looking at my books and the stuff that I've written over the years, I was the different kid.
Yeah.
I was that kid, I'm going to go back.
Like the black sheep sort of thing? Like you didn't fit in? Yeah.
No, I didn't because I cared about people.
Yeah.
I cared about their dreams. I was that kid asking kids, what are you going to do with your life?
Really?
What's your passion? What's your dream? What do you really want? I was that kid. So,
out of curiosity, mainly?
Yeah. Even adults didn't get it. What's this kid on? What's going on with him?
He asks the deepest questions. Wow. Exactly. Okay.
And so I got bullied a fair bit, but I was also that kid, back in the day, they were wearing bell-bottom pants. I was wearing straight legs. So obviously I got
I get it, Bob. I get it, man.
I used to eat spinach. I used to eat spinach, man. Who eats spinach? No kid eats spinach.
Yeah. Well, out of 10 or something.
No, they used to have real spinach at school.
Oh, word.
They had real
spinach. Not like the Popeyes stuff.
No, squeeze the can. So, yeah.
Word. You just eating spinach for lunch.
Yeah, they used to have spinach, and you take everyone spinach, and, So I was the outcast.
I love spinach. Yeah. But I wouldn't have eaten it as a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly it.
When I was young. Exactly wow. Yeah, true. I completely relate to that because I was always I was cool with everyone. Like I was a real people person, but I never felt like I had like a crew, you know what I mean? Like I was kind of like nearly like a lone wolf. I could like bounce between different crews and different people. I was cool with everyone. I was cool with cool kids. I was cool with the nerds. I was cool with the sporty kids. I found like common ground, I suppose, between everyone. But I still got bullied like anyone because I was pretty fat. Like I got a bit fat in school. I got a little bit of that, and I was like super tall. And being so into hip hop, everyone would tease me for that. Man, I was a try hard. I was this man. Pictured me. Like 12 years old, walking around with a fitted and a do-rag. Yeah. Are you serious? Like, but that was me. Like exactly. When I was a kid, but I just loved that so much. Yeah. And I didn't see anything wrong with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like always, like I got along with like the island kids and the African kids and stuff like that. But still, they weren't like my crew. You know what I mean? Because I was still too white for them. You know what I mean? Like it's just the truth.
You're in that middle ground. You know, you're not white. You're not black. You're in that middle ground.
Yeah.
Because you try to be, you're trying to love and enjoy your hip hop. They go, well, you're not black, so you can't.
Yeah.
And then white people go, well, why you listen to that? That's black music. It's that stereotypes because of just because a culture started it.
Yeah, man.
People think that they own it, or even the culture thinks that they own it.
Yeah.
It's like with my younger sister. My younger sister, she always wanted to go to university.
Yeah.
She wanted to go to university. She wanted to study, but the sad part about it is that my stepmother didn't let her be who she wanted to be. She used to always call me, oh, so you want to go to university, you want to be white.
Yeah, wow.
It's like education is for just white people.
Yeah, wow.
But
That's the way it was perceived, yeah?
That's the way it was perceived. But again, you know, I mean, of course, that has a long history, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Because, you know, for the longest, you know, back in the day, education for black people used to be against the law in the States.
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
You couldn't teach black people. Okay?
That was terrible, man. What the, like,
you know, but that's the history.
Yeah.
And that's why history is so important. And you being in music, you understand the history of music. You understand where all these genres come from.
I studied it, man, you know what I mean? Because it was so, being like a white Australian male, it doesn't get more interesting than like African American culture for me, because it's so different to everything that I know and I've experienced. So that's what was so like I was just so obsessed with it, you know what I mean? I wanted to, because I wanted to understand it, you know what I mean? I wanted to understand it, and then obviously later in life I did.
Yeah,
but
I mean, look at some of the successes you've had. You
know?
Awesome.
Yeah. Definitely, man. And then more to come too, you know what I mean? It just doesn't stop there, you know what I mean? Like everything's such a big journey, you know? And just see God's plan, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the vision I laid for myself too, you know what I mean?
That's exactly
so,
it. You gotta have a vision, man.
Yeah. It's all about, that's how it starts. Like, are you familiar with the Wu-Tang Clan?
Yep.
I love the RZA.
Wu-Tang, come on. They were the ones that really introduced martial arts to the world, to the black community. They used to sit there and watch Bruce Lee.
Do you remember how old you were when you heard Wu-Tang for the first time?
No, I don't. Because I was big, you know, I was really R&B man. You know, my mom and dad were R&B. My grandfather was jazz. My grandmother was country. So we had that. Yeah. And so, you know, it wasn't until my teens, you know.
That's normal, but.
Yeah, you know.
Because you're influenced by your family, your cousins, and whoever else with the music they listen to. And then by the time you're a young adult yourself, you start picking those things for yourself. You're picking the way you dress. Yeah. You're expressing yourself. You know what I mean? So if you was a teenager hearing Wu-Tang, you heard it at the right time. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like that. That's like that. Oh yeah, shouldn't be listening to this, but I am listening to this type of music. But like when you get all the depth of some of those songs, it just gets so deep. Because I was seeing this interview with Dr. Dre, right? And Dr. Dre is one of the best producers ever in hip hop. And he was talking about when they came out with NWA, they called it reality rap. But the labels had to label it as gangster rap because that's
sales.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. And they're like, well, yeah, it's that too, you know what I mean? But they wanted to have it as like, this is reality rap. This is what we do. Yeah. So, yeah, like that I thought was real interesting.
You know, and you got to understand, again, with the field that I'm in, you know, with the things that I've created over the years, basing what I do, the academic, the science base of what I do is, like I said, is it based in trauma, adverse childhood experiences, toxic stress, you know, the things that we grow up with that we don't even realize sit in our body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of what rap is and a lot of what sells is trauma.
Yep. It's true.
They sell trauma.
TV shows and everything's the same, you know what I mean? Like, you watch Neighbors, and it's like, man, I'd hate to live in that neighborhood. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing. Drama sells. Yeah. And that's what, like, fuels the people, too.
That's exactly it. And they're trying to be more edgy with Neighbors, you know? They're trying to be more neighbor with Home and more edgy with Home and Away.
Everything's got, it's like a hexagon with all the edges on it, man. Like, goodness me.
You know, God forbid someone says, I followed my dream and I, you know, became a director of movies and I love it and I really, you know, help people. That doesn't sell.
Nah, it doesn't, man. It doesn't.
You know, I mean, you always see those cliffhangers, you know, so-and-so is going to break up and so-and-so, the relationship's never going to work out and so-and-so cheated on so-and-so. People go, ooh, can't wait to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You get nearly like anxious. You're like, I need to see that. You know what I mean? Like there's something about it that thrills you. Yeah, because it's funny. I can relate that back to making music. The amount of times I've had to dumb down my own songs just so that people want to consume it because I have to say this or I have to say that so people think it's cool. And I've kind of switched that now because I just don't care about that stuff anymore. You know what I mean? I feel like I could do it, market myself a different way. You know what I mean? So
it's that thing. You can either live the way you think everyone wants you to live, or you can live with that voice inside of you saying, this is what I want you to do.
Yeah, I know.
This is what I want you to do.
Feel that.
You can either listen to it or not, but how do you wake up in the morning? You wake up going, oh, man, I got to go do that thing again. Or you wake up in the morning and go, I get to do that thing again.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or, oh, man, I got to wake up and so-and-so's going to think this about me. Or I get to wake up and so-and-so may think this about me, but that's cool. They got to be them. I got to be me. I got to do it. You know? But it takes practice.
Yeah.
They don't teach us how to think in school.
No, they don't.
They don't teach us. And our parents are engulfed in that sort of, that thing of, I got to work for money. I got to work for my family. I got to work for, and work to them it drains them. It drains them.
Yep. It does. Takes your life force.
Yeah.
Takes your energy out of you.
Exactly,
man.
it is.
Yep.
I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying don't make money. You know, I don't want people to get it twisted.
No.
But I need them to understand that your lifestyle is either going to be your lifestyle of, yeah, I'm going to work. I'm going to work for 8 hours, and I'm going to come home and spend some time with the family. And I'm going to step into my thing that I love doing.
Yeah.
Most time people go to work. They come home, do the thing with the family, and they don't want to be bothered. I want to watch TV. I want to sit. I just want to drink my wine or my whiskey. I just want to, yeah. And they think they're watching TV for entertainment, but they don't understand they're being brainwashed.
Yeah, yeah. No, they are, for sure.
All the different people they hire, you know, on our social media, on TV, they hire psychologists that know us better than we know us.
Yeah, exactly. They study people.
You go into a grocery store, what is one of the first things you see? You see lollies, chocolate.
And it's cheap.
Cheap.
It's cheaper than buying a fruit. You know what I mean?
It.
Like, is you going to go buy a packet of lollies that cost $1 on sale, or you're going to go buy 3 apples that cost $1.50? Yeah. You're probably not going to go do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the crazy thing. McDonald's is another thing. You know what I mean? That's what I think, because I've been on a diet myself, and I limited myself to 2,500 calories a day now. And now I'm like, I haven't even had McDonald's in months. But it's just like, that's that thing. It's like, oh, if I'm poor, I'll just go get that. But it's like, you don't even think about like even investing in your own diet. It's like, I could make a garden at home. If you've got like a balcony, you can plant pot plants and have like tomatoes and lettuce and different herbs and all these different things that you could actually cultivate yourself. You know what I mean? And even buying bulk every couple of weeks, just so that you have fresh organic fruit and things at all times. And that's what you power your body with. You know what I mean? I noticed from cutting junk food out of my system, it's such a different experience for me. Life in general. It rewired my brain, my body, my movements, everything. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Exactly it. I mean, you're you know, they say your body's your temple, but it's really like your house. If you come into your house and, you know, you track mud in, you bring in, you know, dogs, you bring in junk and just leave it there, you know, it's not a pleasant place to live. Nah. Same thing for your body. We fill it with that stuff, but we're taught to fill it with that stuff. Don't get it backwards. We're taught. Yeah. Everything we do, we've been taught
social condition to believe it.
That's exactly it.
I really want ice cream. Yeah. I really want a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so they'll show you that commercial.
Yeah.
Go to your phone. They know exactly what you're looking at on your phone. Yeah. They know what you're looking at on your phone.
You know what's funny? When I get these urges, right? When I'm like, yo, I really just want some like French fries. I really want to give me a pizza or some shit. I'll go be like, all right, I'm going to go work out. And then I'll see if I want it after I work out. And I never want it after I work out. Great system, man. I would never want it, because it's like, if I really want it, then I'm going to get it after I work out. Yeah. And I'm telling you, at the moment, it's 100% success rate that I don't want it after, because it just gets rid of the munchies. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm burning that excess energy. It's like, sometimes I know how it is to sit in the chair all day and just create, or that's your job. You're at home. You work on a computer at home, and you're just sitting there, and the inside of your body is just like, it's like a battery that's just going vibrating at a million miles an hour. And then you're like, oh, your legs are moving, you're fidgeting, you're doing all crazy stuff. Like exercise, and it just takes that edge off. Yeah, exactly. You don't have that burning energy inside of you all of a sudden. The controlled diet helps you like focus and keep your mentality straight. Like, I'm telling you, like rewired my entire brain, and my entire lifestyle has changed in like just a couple of months. I lost 12 kilos too.
Yeah, man, nice.
Crazy.
Nice. Congratulations.
Huge goal for me. Tibby Talks is brought to you by Canal. You couldn't sesh before, you can now. For discreet sessions, on the go. Big shout out to Canal. Thank you for all you do for our community and for the medical cannabis patients of the world. So,
Love that.
When you moved over from the States, that was just like, was Australia calling you, or did you go somewhere else first?
Well, let me just backtrack a little bit because, like I said, I was living in Alton, Illinois. I started writing poetry, is what got me to really reflect on myself, get away from the bullies. Went to, became a pretty good athlete, grade 12, playing football.
Yeah.
Got my ankle broken.
Damn.
I had to go, okay, what do I do now? Because I lost my scholarship to go play football. What do I do now? Oh, I always wanted to dance. I always wanted to perform.
Cool.
So went to universities. I never went to class, but I did find the dance and theater department. And I said, I want to go to a school of performing arts because I always wanted to do that. So for 2 years while I was at the college there in Illinois, I trained my dancing, my acrobatics, my fitness. I read as much as I could. I had very, very few friends because they didn't understand.
Yeah.
They didn't understand the mission, the purpose.
Yeah.
Was to go to New York. And so after...
City of Dreams.
Yeah, exactly it. And probably about halfway through my second year, one of my dance teachers said, here's the application to the school you want to go to. He said, fill it out. The rest is up to you. Filled it out. Finished that year of university and got into the School of Performing Arts in New York. Had a 2-year intensive program there and got out and got a job. First job was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And like I told you earlier, my grandmother listened to country music. I said, I'd never do country music. My first job was a country show.
Wow. That's cool, but that's cool. I used to love country music as a kid.
Yeah.
I really did.
I love it.
But as you being a youth, you're like it's dorky or whatever, you know what
exactly
I mean? With the weird hats and
listen
stuff.
to this stuff.
Yeah. Oh my darling.
You can't like I was an 80s country dude, so Garth Brooks and Dunn, Tanya Tucker, all those people. So that's I really have an appreciation for country now. But yeah, I read about Australia in a book, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go there someday.
Yeah.
So just doing my professional career, traveling around the States, I was dabbling and kept dabbling in the cheerleading world because I always loved cheerleading.
Did you do it in school or anything like that?
I actually taught the cheerleaders how to flip. I used to teach them how to flip in school. That's how I got close to them because they didn't want to hang out with me, but I could teach them how to do flips.
Yeah, that was your upper hand.
Yeah, exactly it. And I always stayed in contact with that sport.
Yeah.
And then just before I came to Australia, I was working in a gig on cruise ships. So I was working with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, and I met my was going to be wife on there. She was an Australian girl. She was running away from some bad stuff in her life.
Yeah.
And she found the perfect getaway. And then we met, and I was probably on there a month, and then I met her. She used to cut my hair when I had hair.
I know how that feels, man. We both ball. Tight, bro.
And we finished our contracts on the ship, and we started traveling around the States. She had friends in England. She wanted to go there, and then she said, you know what, I'm tired of traveling. I want to go back home, open my hair salon. So she opened a hair salon, which was her dream, which was one of the things that attracted me to her. Yep. She had a passion, she had a dream, and she wanted to go for it.
I love that when a woman's got that, man.
Oh.
There's nothing more attractive.
Sexy as I'm going to do this. I'm in love with you.
Yeah, I know. I got this this quote. So like I said, I obviously love hip hop, and Cameron, being one of my favorite rappers from New York, he says it's kind of a bit rude, but like he says, when you pass 25, a nut is just a nut. I need a girl with a plan. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, yo, and I was just like, Cam, you spitting right now, man. You spitting, and I felt that. You know what I mean? Because that's yeah, man. Preach.
That's exactly it, man. And I always hear comedians. I remember Eddie Murphy back in his younger days. I think it was the Raw.
Yeah.
He was talking to some guys in the audience. He goes, well, how old are you? He said, I'm 20. He said, you don't know nothing about sex. I'll keep it clean.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing about sex. You just pop it off and you keep doing it. No connection, no nothing.
Yeah.
And then another comedian, Bernie Mac. Power to the Bernie Mac. He did a stand-up bit about it. He says, I'm tired of sex. I'm just tired. What is it? It's nothing but 15 pumps.
Yeah.
If you ain't got nothing to do, count it. Count it. And that's what it is. And to me, that's how people kind of misconstrue what sex really is. People keep saying, well, sex is not just the intercourse. Well, everyone already knows that. You don't have to keep telling us that. But two people in that relationship have to make it more than that.
Yeah.
Make it about the conversation. Make it about the hanging out. Make it about the dream. What is your dream? What is your passion? Like we just said.
Exactly.
Nothing sexier.
Exactly. Than being driven.
Yeah. I want to be an exec for a company. I want to create an app.
Oh man, this wasn't recording that whole time. You're kidding me, man. I'm so sorry, dude. I just realized it just that was recording.
Yeah.
But this wasn't recording. God damn, that missed all of that. I'm so sorry, man. That's crazy.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah, I know. The pros and cons of being the first guest. I was like, I saw that button. I was like, no, you are not green right now, because it's like I pressed it and obviously I didn't press it hard enough. All right. Anyway, we might have to.
And is the video still going?
The video's still going. We're still good. We're still good on the video, man. Like got that.
That's fine. I can pick that up. I know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where we're going.
I know. I can start all over that part again.
All right. So we'll have to probably go back to.
Did you get your commercial in there as well?
No, I have to put that in there.
Yeah.
And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Big shout out to Canal. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast. We got Sanford McMurray in the building, telling us a little about his life story.
Excellent. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, my sister put herself through school. She did, she's a corporate girl now. She's, driving a Mercedes, living her best life, the life she wants to.
Yeah.
But for me personally, once I started writing poetry in school, being that weird kid, I needed a place to express myself. From that, I became a pretty good athlete through school, played football, got my ankle broken my last year of high school. And I said, what else can I do? Because I lost my scholarship. What else can I do? I said, I always wanted to perform. Yeah. So I started, dancing and get back into my flips. Then I went to university, wasn't interested in going to class, but I did find the art and theater department.
Yeah.
Started dancing. I put a plan in place. I wanted to go to School of Performing Arts in New York. So for 2 years, I worked hard, just training. My dance teacher gave me the application, filled it out, applied, got in. 2-year intensive program in New York City. And as soon as I finished, I went to my first gig, which was a country gig. I was a country dude with the country hat on, doing the boot scoot boogie, baby.
Which is something you couldn't have even seen yourself doing at that time.
No way, man. So, and then, but even during that time, I always stayed in touch with the world of cheerleading, because I loved cheerleading. And, when I was in high school, I used to teach. The cheerleaders didn't want to be with me, but I could do flips and stuff.
Yeah.
So they wanted to learn
that upper hand to get in with the cheerleaders. Like, I'll show you how to do moves. You let me hang out.
Exactly. Yeah. So started working professionally as a performer out through New York. I started doing video clips. I started doing live stage shows, doing stunts. I started even to get into stunts.
That's cool.
And got to work with George Lucas.
Really?
When I went to Japan, worked with him for a year, almost a year and a half.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was called the George Lucas Super Live Adventure Show.
That's so cool.
In Japan, of course, they ate it up.
Yeah. Whoa. How old were you at that point?
What was I? I don't remember. I came to maybe 27,
yeah.
26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, the prime of your life.
Yeah, man.
Just living.
Eating it up, loving every moment of it.
Damn, that's what's up.
And then my last gig before coming to Australia, I met my former wife on cruise ships, working with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines.
Yeah.
She's a hairdresser. I was on there working with the cruise staff, and I had my own one-man show.
A one-man show, damn.
Yeah. And we met, and about a month after I was on the ship, finished our year out there. She wanted to travel around the States. I took her to meet my family. We just traveled. Then she wanted to go to England, hang out with her friends. She said, I'm tired of traveling. She wanted to come back to Australia, open her hair salon. And again, like I said earlier, nothing sexier than a person with a plan, with a dream. That just attracts me. It attracts me. Not just the women, but for men, for kids, for adults, for old people, young people. You got a dream? Tell me about it. I'm all ears now.
Just like you were saying before, when you was a kid, you was asking everyone what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
What's your dream?
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you meet like a lady and they have that drive, you know what I mean? Or even like whatever your partner is, you know what I mean? Like you can literally tap, if they have direction, you're like, yes, you know what I mean? Like you said, there's nothing sexy.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You find that, you know what I mean? And it's something that drives you. It's just like, yep,
exactly.
I want to be part of that journey.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you know, to me, a relationship means you already have a relationship with yourself.
Yep.
You have some goals, you have some little steps you have in place, but there's somebody else that can help you click that in. That's the person you're looking for.
Yep.
And that person needs some of what you got. You need some of they got. That's, to me, that's how you build a relationship.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, you're not lying.
You know, I want a woman to be sexy, have big boobs, have all this stuff,
and cook and clean, and
cook
all
and clean. That's. I'm not saying that's not, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that works for that particular person. Or if you're a lady, you know, you say, I want a man who makes 8 figures and he has to have have a big house, and you know, that's not going to make you happy in the long run.
No.
Because it's not.
It's not fulfilling.
It doesn't fill you up.
No.
You have to dig into yourself to know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Again, get back to what society teaches us. You have to have this type of woman, or you have to have this type of man.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's it's a disease inside of us.
It is. It is. I completely agree with you. We've just been social conditioned to feel that way.
Exactly it. Exactly it. So, yeah. So you know, we did pretty good, my wife and I. You know, we lasted. You know, unfortunately divorced, but we went 20 years.
Wow.
Together for 20 years.
And I bet you're still close, obviously.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah. Wow.
Again, back to the adverse childhood experience.
Yeah.
She grew up in a family that was always yelling. They were never heard in her family. They had to yell and fight and scuff for everything. And mom and dad were always kind of competing against each other. So that was her life.
Yeah.
And how as a kid, how are you not going to take that as a kid and bring that into your own life?
Yeah, of course.
So she wanted something different with me, but she didn't recognize what my childhood adversity was. I didn't recognize what hers were.
Yeah.
Until after. I learned much more after the divorce than I did in the divorce. You know, because I wasn't going to be controlled, and she said, you're not going to control me, and you're going to do everything I tell you, and and so she was screaming, I was shutting down. You see?
Wow.
You know that
there's no balance.
No. That people always talk about communication. Communication means stop. It means really look at that person. It means even hold the person's hand.
Yeah.
But most of the time, people just want to scream and yell and point the finger. But communication, you have to actually stop. You have to actually look at the person. You actually hold their hand or put your hand on their knee or something. That will diffuse a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, for real.
Now you can have the conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
What is it?
Kind of puts you on an even ground, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is it that you need? How what is it that you need?
Yeah.
And then they listen to what you need.
The only way you would have found that out is by actually going through that too. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of people have to do that they're scared to do. They're scared to take a chance. You know what I mean? And just because you would not look back and say that 20 years was bad by any means. You know what I mean? That was a great time. And we back. Third time lucky. You can't shake us like that. Camera's overheating, but it's all good, man. So
I love it.
After the journey with your wife, that has brought you to Australia now.
Yeah.
And what are you doing now, presently?
Well, a few things. One, I'm still continuing writing. So that book is probably is about 7-8 years old.
Yep.
I just wrote another book series. It's called Trim the Fat. It's an online series.
Yeah. You're saying that's one of your favorite sayings to say.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And Trim the Fat. The FAT is an acronym for fear, addiction, and trauma.
Oh, cool.
You see. So I think
addiction, trauma.
I believe those are 3 things that people are struggling with. Those are the primary things that people are struggling with.
Yep.
Our youth are struggling with. Parents are struggling with. My primary clients are youth and families. Reconnecting them, getting them to reconnect, getting them to talk and communicate now. Yep. But there's a lot of things blocking them, which is the fear, addiction, and the trauma. Yep. So the first book is Fear. It's entitled. You can go on Amazon, check it out. It's called Fear. Either Your Fall or Your Fuel. That's the name of that book. The second book in the series is called The Color of Addiction. The Color of Addiction. So it not only talks about addiction, what it does to the body physically, emotionally, but it also talks about where addiction comes from.
Oh, the birthplace.
Okay, the birthplace of addiction. And it breaks down how it affects different cultures as well. Okay.
That's important. No one touches on that.
Yeah, because look, alcohol has been around forever.
Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be. That ain't gonna change.
Marijuana has been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, a lot of people weren't addicted to it. So why are they addicted now?
Mm. Do you reckon people are addicted to weed?
I feel they are.
I would definitely know some people that are addicted to weed. But I think it's through other experiences that they abuse it. You know what I mean?
Well, my little definition is off another gentleman that I followed. His name is Dr. Gabor Mate. Read a few of his books. Pretty powerful. He's out of Canada. You can look him up. But he says addiction is anything that you crave, that you really want, and that you feel you really need, and you try to give it up, but you can't, and it has detrimental effects on your life.
Yep. That's
what your personal life, physical life. Like his addiction was classical music. He was a doctor. He would stop in the middle of something to get the latest CD.
Mm.
He said he had a patient giving birth one day, and he knew he could get back in time, but he stayed at the store looking at these CDs. That's an addiction. Yeah. You can't stop.
Yeah, wow.
Addiction is sugar. Addiction is drugs. Addiction is alcohol. Yeah. I say it is. Any of these things can be addictions. Mm-hmm. Addiction can be gambling. Addiction can be sex. Addiction can be people pleasing. Yeah. Addiction can be I'm going to, but never doing.
Yeah.
These are addictions.
Yeah.
All right. So with that definition, who hasn't been addicted?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just breaking that down and not making yourself feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Not saying
That's
I'm a bad
enemy.
person. Yeah.
Is really like going through it and being like, oh man, I really am worthless or something like that. That's exactly not the point.
Exactly it. That's like buying a car and go, oh, I suck for buying a car.
Oh, damn.
You know?
Or buying the car to make up for something that you are lacking in your own life.
That's an addiction.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's an addiction.
Yeah. It doesn't make you feel any more filled up on the inside. You know what I mean? You still feel the same, even though because it's just like a come down. It's like you can do a drug and you come right down after a few hours, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, now I'm back to myself again. I don't feel how I felt 2 hours ago.
You're spot on, man.
And then you've done something crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. And again, I just want to reiterate that don't make yourself feel bad about it. What you were trying to do is you were trying to regulate yourself.
Yeah.
You were trying to feel good. You were trying to calm yourself down. That's really all it is.
It's a process.
When I work with my clients, I had one girl who was cutting. She was suicidal. She said, I have a house. I have great parents. I have a car. I have a job. Why do I feel so crappy? And she said, so I cut, and I wanted to commit suicide. She said, why is that? I said, you were just trying to regulate yourself. You just wanted to calm down. You just wanted to feel good within yourself. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad or good. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
And then I go on about, then I get them to, and I start talking about what they're passionate about again.
Yeah.
Because that's usually what's missing.
Yeah.
But that passion, that dream, that vision. Because someone told them that it couldn't be accomplished, so they gave up. Yeah. And therefore they turned to other things. Mm-hmm. Or someone didn't support them in the best way, so they turned to other things. Yeah. Or a teacher at school that didn't know them that well said, you're never going to amount to anything. You see? Yeah. So what do we turn to? We turn to something that we feel we have control of, which is an addiction. Shopping, whatever we feel that we can get control of.
Oh, cool.
But I reconnect people to their dreams, to their vision, to their purpose. And I'm there in their corner like that boxer. You in your boxer, you have a corner man or a corner woman. Yeah. That's what I am.
You're the hype man in people's lives.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble.
Tell them.
That's it. Exactly it, man. Exactly.
People got to know. People got to know, man.
Yeah. To me, everyone needs a corner person.
Yeah.
I call it the who's in your boat theory. You need 7 people in your boat. That's including you, 7 people in your boat. If you want to know more about that, you can contact me. But you definitely need that person that's definitely pushing you. Mm-hmm. They're pushing you. You need that person in your boat. That's your cheerleader.
Yeah.
Hey, you can do this. You got this. You need that person to go, hey, you need to relax. Just chill out. Go do something that's going to relax you. So you need those people in your boat.
Yeah.
And the boat is not that big. Okay. So you got to be very careful of the what I call only quality people.
Yeah.
OPQ. Only quality people. And it's not that people are bad. All people are bad. And it's not that you should dislike people. But you want to be very selective in that process because you have a mission. You have a purpose. Yeah. And not everyone's going to be down with it because they're going to think you're crazy. You're never going to make money doing it. Why are you doing that? Da, 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 da.
Well, they're judging. They're going to judge you, regardless. It doesn't matter whether you do something for yourself or you do something for someone else. They're still going to judge you.
Yeah, either way.
So it's like, it just doesn't matter. Like, it's a lot of overthinking.
That's exactly it. Exactly.
So what a mission, man.
Yeah, so that's the mission. I'm on Instagram as life coach to the arts. So that's one little platform I'm working with. I also have a little voice podcast, which is called Unlock to Unleash. So I do that on Anchor and Spotify.
Yeah.
And then I have my business, my live business, which is called Mental Wealth is Health. And so that's the one I primarily work with kids at schools and youth detention centers and youth clubs. It is using circus as a foundation of play.
Yeah, wow.
Fun and adventure, along with the foundation of the academic, which is the adverse childhood experiences. And then we start having the conversations. We write stuff down. We have a journal that we develop, and we build that process. It's. I just want everyone to know that healing anything in your life takes time. It's not one or two words, one or two workshops. You got to put in the time.
Yeah.
Got to put in the time. And so I got that. And now I'm creating my Love Your Mission University, LYMU. Love Your Mission University, where I'm inviting coaches, educators who want to come on and create platforms with me to do that. Yeah. So I'm going to be launching my first program November 15th. Mm-hmm. I'm doing pre-sales right now. The original
mark that down in your calendars.
The original price is $200, but if you book now, it's $149. You can do the 4 sessions. Each session is about 10 to 12 minutes long. And then I asked you questions at the end that you could do for that week. So each lecture you do for a week, and then you move on. Yeah. What works for you, you keep. What doesn't work for you, you just let it go. Yeah. So that's what I'm up to these days. Also hanging here with you. I want to do, get you going with these podcasts. Yeah, I'm just going to say it now. I want to co-host with you.
Hey, there we go. Maybe we can start our own show.
That's exactly it. Exactly it. Just showing up for each other. We've been let down a lot because people just aren't urgent enough. Mm-hmm. But we know what we want. Yeah. I'm willing to put in the time.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it is. Just I feel like, both of us, we know ourselves in that manner. You know what I mean? And that's a really great way that we can help each other and help other people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So before we wrap up, I've got a couple other questions to ask you, just to kind of broadly expand on the Sanford McMurray experience. I want to ask you, how would you describe yourself?
How do I describe myself? Revolutionary. Simply meaning, if I have a mission, that is what I must do on this planet. My job is not to please you. My job is to lift you up. My job is to lift me up. If there's things you want of me, ask me. I'm going to give you an answer, yes or no. Or let's do it together. I'd much rather do things together than on my own. I'm a self-starter, but everyone needs a team. So I'm a revolutionary.
Everyone needs a team. I love that, man. I love that.
And revolutionaries are for life. It's not a part-time job. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. What do you think helps balance your own routine on a day-to-day basis?
Look, I don't believe in balance. I believe in the perfect imbalance. Mm-hmm. Perfect imbalance. Because as soon as you start balancing things, something else is weighing it down. So I think it's a constant ebb and flow. It's like a river. It's like a creek. It's like anything. It just flows. It has its purpose. And so whatever I need to do that day, I get it done. It's not like I don't have a plan or I don't write stuff down, because I do. But there's stuff that just pops up. It's a word that I use.
That's life, man.
It's exactly it, man. Yeah. It's a word that I use for that stuff, because there's stuff that you have to do and stuff that you want to do. And then there's the middle stuff I call mucka stuff.
Mucka
stuff.
Man, that sounds Australian as hell.
It just mucks up everything else.
Yeah. I love that. I love that, man.
Yeah, so I'm not a big believer in balance.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me, because you never know what life's going to throw at you. You know what I mean? And anything could happen, and that balance is like nearly your routine. And as soon as that's mucked up, it's like, damn, you're out there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that if other people believe in balance or whatever, that works for them. But for me, it doesn't work for me in the general sense. So I'm constantly balanced. It's like standing on one foot. If you really stand on one foot long enough, your ankle gets stronger, your knee gets stronger, your hips get stronger. So I'm enjoying that perfect imbalance
and the process. Enjoy the process of life. Yeah. It's a journey. Yeah. No, I know things suck. I know things can suck.
Yeah.
But it's just like finding that thing that you can use to just keep yourself level-headed through those times, and then you because you always come out of it. You know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna feel one way forever. You know what I mean? I might be really happy right now. I might be really sad tomorrow. But like I'm gonna get myself out of that position. You know what I mean? Exactly. On that topic though, what makes you happy?
The thing that makes me most happy. Let me just be clear. The thing that makes me most happy is that I get to wake up each day and do this thing.
Yeah.
And do this thing. Because I always say to my students, you can wake up dead.
Exactly.
You know, when you ask anyone where the most educated people are, where the biggest dreamers are, they're in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they are.
Yep.
Because they didn't follow through. They were afraid to follow through. Someone told them they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wake up is, and then being able to charge into my fitness. I love fitness. I love serving people. I love hearing about people's dreams and their stories.
Yep.
And I love collaborations.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Those things really.
You're feeding off people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's a share care.
Is that how you say you nearly celebrate your own happiness, is through doing that? That's cool.
But people get it really confused and think that they have to do it by themselves. Discipline to me is not doing it by yourself. Discipline is you have the vision, you make the plan, and then you get the people.
Yeah.
There's nothing we do alone.
Yeah.
When you were born, someone had to pull you out, slap you on the butt, and make you cry. You know, when you're a kid, you go to school, your parents taking care of you, go to university, you got lecturers, you get a job, your boss telling you what to do. Yeah. Even if you're an entrepreneur, your clients, the people are your bosses.
Yeah.
This is what they need in the industry. Amazon, you know, they got to serve their bosses, which is and then when we die, someone got to put you in the ground.
Yeah.
Why would we try to do the middle of our life by ourselves?
Yeah.
Why? So I'm all about team. I'm all about your crew.
Yeah.
And people that they may not get you, but they get you. You're a dreamer.
Yeah.
They get you. You have a
vision. They're not going to judge you for being yourself either. You know what I mean?
And you want to help them reach theirs too.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's how I feel about the circle of people that I have around me in my life. I feel exactly what you described is exactly that. And that's how I'm able to pick myself up and dust myself off every single time I think I'm down. I just take my time for myself, get back on the horse, man. Hey, Sanford McMurray, people, been blessed today by the knowledge of this man. If we get lucky again, we'll definitely have to do another podcast, or who knows what happens in the future, man. But for the moment, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate your knowledge and just being my homie.
Thanks, Trav. Thank you for having me. You guys be good to yourself. Peace, love, and power.
You already know the